I was shocked beyond description when I heard the news that Cheryl Teamer had passed. Cheryl Teamer, a friend, a colleague, a compatriot, a fellow lawyer, a fellow New Orleanian, was one of the first people I asked to join my administration in 1994. At the time, I had known Cheryl since childhood and watched her become an incredibly talented, if you will, legislative magician. Her talent, her ability, her incredible skill at handling multiple projects and juggling balls and never dropping one. Truly extraordinary, an extraordinary person. Her parents, Charles and Mary Teamer, were special people to the Morials. Cheryl really is one of New Orleans' great contributions to humankind. And I could continue to talk about her many professional accomplishments or personal qualities, but I just will continue to mourn her loss, but celebrate her life, a life cut short far too early. Cheryl Teamer, I love you, we love you, and we memorialize your legacy today. May you continue to rest in peace and rest in power.
When I learned that she passed, I immediately went to my voicemail to try to hear her voice again. The voicemail was like, "Hi Ty, it's Nanny." Like it always was like a really sweet feeling of home. And that's just who she was. She was just warm, she was inviting, she was excellent.
She wouldn't just dream about stuff, she would make things happen. Whatever her role or whatever environment she was in, she would make sure to work on behalf of the folks who were less fortunate than her.
Cheryl served on well over a dozen boards, as well as many committees and subcommittees.
She was big on getting involved, rolling up her sleeve and setting the agenda, setting the policy.
Cheryl was a very enthusiastic person, someone who really loved her city and wanted to see her city progress.
She was often cast in leadership roles that were pioneering.
Cheryl came on board at the Aviation Board as the first female chairperson in 2013, just as the new terminal program was beginning to get some legs under it.
Cheryl was our fifth female board chair. She was our first African-American woman to chair the board, and she was the first daughter to ever succeed her father, Dr. Charles Teamer, who was our first African-American board chair in the history of the Greater New Orleans Foundation.
She was one of those people that inspired you, that made you a better person, that made you want to do more to help the community, more to help your family, more to help just people around you who you would pass by every day.
Our parents were educators, and we had a front row seat to watch them mentor young people to become, professional, and extremely successful in life. So we kind of picked up that mantle from our parents to say, hey, you have an obligation. You've been given a lot of advantages. You have an obligation to pass that on.
The thing Cheryl valued the most, without any question, was her family. Cheryl adored her family. She would just light up when she would talk about especially her nieces and nephews, but also her siblings and their accomplishment, her father, her mother. I mean, they were her world.
And she didn't miss anything. There's not one really monumental thing I can think of in my academic or professional career that she wasn't there physically in support or had something to do with the production.
She always was there, you know, no matter what. Even if we weren't getting along or on the same page, she just always was there. She loved all of us. She called us her 3T, like the third generation of the Teamer family, and she really wanted to love and support us, and she did. She did all the time.
I always talk about the legacy that I have, and I always talk about standing on the shoulders of strong women that came before me. And I think my aunt also had that idea that she was given so much as a child, and so what are you supposed to do with things that are given to you? You're supposed to give back.
Whenever we were talking, Cheryl always grounded it back to, how does it help, young people who are struggling, or folks who are experiencing homelessness or mental illness.
It's easy to sit on a committee, but to actually roll your sleeves up and do the work, that's what Cheryl did, and that's what she meant for so many people, and I think that's why she touched so many people.
She's like, what can I do to help? How can I help you? And I told her, I said, well, Cheryl, we have these guys who are living in this transitional house, and I don't exactly know what you can do, but here's what we do, and here's our mission. She says, what if I cook for the guys? Once a week, whether it was Wednesday or Thursday, whatever day, the guys sat out on the porch because they knew Miss Teamer, as they called her, was coming there with not just, a regular meal. I mean, it was, if you knew Cheryl Teamer, it was 7 course. Some of the guys were calling her Aunt Cheryl.
Everybody felt like she was a friend to them, and I think that's something that really kind of helped her, not only like in her personal life, but in her work life. People really felt close to her, like they could talk to her and confide in her.
Working with her, I got an appreciation for dealing with the most difficult of situations without ever losing your cool, and being positive and upbeat through even very difficult times.
She was a friend to everybody, talked to everybody. Even if you didn't want to talk to her, she still talked to you.
If Cheryl ever called and asked if you had a quick minute for a phone call, it was never a quick minute.
She'd call you while she's walking her dog at 9:30 at night because she has an idea that she wants to share.
I think of all those annoying phone calls from Cheryl Teamer at 9 o'clock at night saying, I was just going to leave a message. I know this is important family time, but since you did pick up the phone.
And then an hour and a half later, after you found out everything about all of her family and all of her friends, you would get to the question that she had for you.
Yeah, I'll definitely miss those conversations. We are committed to keeping her memory alive, making sure that, the grandkids know who she was and what she stood for, and what, and that they have a responsibility to carry on her legacy of, family and service and doing good work and being a good person.
I think in regards to what we do, philanthropy is very important in giving back to the community, and I definitely think that my aunt has inspired me to really be a tool for service. I think that, when you ask me what is my purpose in life, I will say to serve others, and I think that that was her purpose in life as well.
If I had to say one last thing to my nanny, I would say she will never be forgotten.